Howdy folks, today I'm going to show you how to glitch build in No Man's Sky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bust out a cuboid room here. The concept behind glitch building is placing an item that would work and then switching to an adjacent item right after. As you can see here, the cuboid room flooring, if I try to place that, it obviously is, I'm getting an error, invalid position. However, I can obviously just place a cuboid room, no problem. If you place an item and then immediately after switch to an adjacent item, like I had mentioned before, we can get this cuboid room flooring to get in the place that it's at right now. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm on PC, so I'm going to hit F, and then right after I'm going to hit my left arrow key to glitch to the room flooring. So let's do that. But if you can remember the cadence, I know it sounds goofy, but if you can remember that cadence and the tempo of that, but that's how quick you need to do that sequence to do the glitch. So if you're on PS4, for example, you hit X button and then you're gonna hit the left D-pad, but that quick after you hit the X button. So there we go. I don't know where my flooring went. Doesn't really matter. So that is really about it when it comes to glitching. Let's do another example here. Let's say I want to get these interior stairs out in the open. Obviously, they do not work outside of cuboid structures. However, next to the interior stairs, we have a cuboid roof. So I can just glitch to the right, and the interior stairs will get placed in the position that the curved cuboid roof currently is in. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. We have some stairs out in the open. One thing I wanted to point out, you have to start off with something green. So for example, I would not be able to start with an inner door and try and glitch over to an inner wall. Second thing is you don't have enough time to try and glitch over multiple items. So for example, if I tried to glitch from a glass cuboid room over to a curved cuboid room, it would not work. You don't have enough time to go over more than one item. So whatever you're trying to glitch, it has to start with an item that will work, and it can either be one item to the left or one item to the right in the menu. Let's get rid of the cuboid room. And place some flooring here. If I wanted to glitch a inner wall, obviously it won't go or it won't be placeable in its current state. However, if I glitch from the room flooring to the left, we can get it to go in the position that my highlighted flooring or the flooring that I'm trying to place is in. So there we go. Now we have an inner wall just hanging out in the open, and then if we wanted to do an inner doorway, we need to start with interior stairs. So if we get these to snap, this to snap, I'm only placing one stair. It does not want to go in the, there we go. Do that, and then glitch one item to the right to the inner door. Now we have an inner door out in the open, flush with the ground, pretty neat. Might be able to do something with the PvP arena with that. So that's it. So whenever you hear people talking about glitch building, that's the core of it. It's just starting with an item, switching over to an adjacent item that won't work, and that adjacent item gets placed. So let's take that concept a little bit further. We are going to glitch a straight corridor upright. So let's do that. You're probably asking, well, how the hell does that work? It all starts with paving. Everything, when you're trying to glitch straight corridors, biodomes, infrastructure parts, cuboid rooms in different angles or orientations, it all starts with a paver. If we have paving, that means I can attach, I am in the wrong menu, I can attach flooring. Flooring will snap to paving. And because I have flooring down, that means I can attach a metal wall, which finally means I can attach a straight corridor to a metal wall. However, if we get the orientation of the paving in a different way, everything after that will follow suit. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to start with the sphere. I find that doing it this way is the easiest way to get something sideways. I'll show you what I mean. We'll start with a sphere, and I'm going to go over to my pyramid. Okay. And I'm going to get my pyramid in that orientation. If we look at our menu items here, we have paving item that obviously won't go there, but next to the paving item, I have a cylinder, which is green. So I can start with the cylinder and glitch one item to the right, and that will get this paving object completely upright. It follows the angle that the bottom of the sphere will be. So let's go ahead and glitch to the paver item. And we have an upright paver. Pretty neat. If we have an upright paver, or if we have a paver, regardless, that means we can attach flooring. If there's anything you can remember, it'll help you with the sequence of things here. Paver, floor panel, wall panel, you're off to the races. So, you know what, doesn't really matter. I will do that. So we have flooring down. I'm going to take a metal wall, and that's fine. And then I'm going to take a straight corridor. Oh, we can even do that. That is totally fine. Now we have a straight corridor that's completely upright, which means if I go to place a biodome, we have an upright sideways biodome. Pretty neat. If you want to not get perfectly 90-degree angles, or for example, if you don't want something to be completely inverted, you want something to be at a slight angle, what you need to do is mess around with pyramids. So I'm actually going to start with a cement cube. The only reason is I want to raise this up because the paver is going to be glitched underneath it, and I don't want it to be in the ground. So let's say we do that. Sorry, I got distracted there for a minute. That ship from afar actually looked decent, but I'm not a fan of those wings. Anyway, shiny objects, story of my life. So note the bottom of this pyramid here. That's the angle of everything is going to follow suit. Okay, so let's just get rid of these cubes. And I'm going to bust out my cylinder here. That sounded wrong. Did not intend for that. We're going to glitch to our paving. But there we go. As you can see, the paving follows the angle of the bottom of the pyramid. So let's get rid of the pyramid. Go to our flooring. I by default use metal flooring. It doesn't have to be metal. It can be concrete or wood. And our wall. And our straight corridor. And now we have an angled straight corridor. Pretty cool. So you'll have to mess with angles using pyramids. I can get maybe you want something upright, but not quite. So if I just take a couple pyramids, you can mess around with the orientation. Let's say I do that. Now I have the bottom of the pyramid here is, from my perspective, just leaning forward a little bit. So it's almost vertical. Let's mess with that. Let's get our cylinder out. Okay. Switch to the paving. And now we have some paving. And it's actually upside down in relation to the ground because the bottom of the paver is facing upright. That's the bottom. So let's go to our floor panel, if I could get to the right menu. And we'll get this placed. There we go. And then our wall. So it's a little trickier when you are inverting. I just had it. There we go. Reason being is this is technically upside down. So this wall here is in an upside down orientation. But it's very difficult, and I don't even, maybe you can. I don't even know if it's possible to tell visually that a wall is right side up or upside down. So because this is inverted, I have to remove the flooring. If we do that, we get our straight corridor placed. And now we have a tilted angled biodome. You can even use this technique for ship racing, for example. Let's say you wanted to have some checkpoints that are ringed. Maybe build some of these up. And then if you build some curved corridors, let's get rid of these two. That should be fine. And then that should attach. There you go. You can build this up even higher than this. You can kind of have some ship courses, some ring checkpoints, pretty neat. Interesting stuff you can do with glitch building. You know what? I'm just going to leave that there and go to my next example. If we want to invert something completely, what you need to do is I'm going to start off with a cube sandwich. Okay? I'm going to get rid of the center cube. Again, we need to get to the cylinder because that's what we're starting with to glitch to the paving item. If you move your cursor up ever so slowly, what you're going to notice is the cylinder is going to flip. Just like that. But by default, you can't really tell just looking at the cylinder. So you have to pay attention to the top of the cylinder. Okay? And because I'm not sure how many times I had flipped the cylinder, I'm going to do that. There we go. We just flipped it. Now we're going to glitch to the paving. And now we have a perfectly level upside down paver. Okay, so let's go back to our flooring here. And we're going to throw that there. That's fine. And then what we need to do is we need to get a wall panel, but I need this to be upright. So it can be tricky. So it's sometimes, if you're building low like I'm doing, just like that, you can probably get it to snap into place. But if you're building up any higher, you may have to actually get on the floor panel and mess around moving your cursor to get this wall panel to be placed like that. Because in reality, this wall is upside down. It's just almost impossible to tell just by looking at it. But because the wall is upside down, it means anything I attach to it's going to be upside down. So there you go. We have a upside down straight corridor, which means that if I attach a biodome, we have a biodome that's completely upside down. Let's take it one step further. And if you notice, I didn't remove this center cube. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to add another straight corridor, just as a placeholder, so to speak. And we're going to get rid of this straight corridor here. If you keep the center cube, or your foundational cube here, you can build back up and place a upright biodome right on top of it. So let me show you that. I usually keep, if I'm messing around with inversions and glitching, and I'm basing something off of a cement cube, I like to keep it there until the very end of the project. That way, if I need to build back up or add even more, I always have a central point that I can reference to. So let's go to our center cube. I'm just going to build this up a little bit. I think I need two more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop on the top of this corridor here. I'm going to add back. You'd think I'd know my way around the item menu by now, but of course I don't. All right, so we're going to make another cube sandwich. It's going to end up being 2.5 cubes on above the top of the straight corridor. Well, technically it's the bottom, but it's inverted. So we have our cube sandwich. We're going to go back to our cylinder, except this time we are not going to do our little inversion trick. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it upright. And let's go to our cylinder here, and we're going to glitch over to the paving. There we go. We have our paving. I can get rid of that, that, and that. I always leave the bottom cube. And we can go to our flooring. Get some flooring there, and then our wall. I'll actually have to get rid of the paver to get the wall to snap. What I like to do here is leave the flooring in place. The reason you want to leave the flooring in place is because if we need to adjust the height of the biodome, we can always come back and reference this flooring. So let me give you an example of that. Let's get our straight corridor. Have to remove the wall to attach a biodome. And we have our inverted biodome. And we have our upright biodome. Okay. As you can see, perfectly snapped, it's aligned, everything's happy. However, they're so close to each other that the floors are actually colliding, so you're not able to plant anything. If you're just trying to do some ornament, throw some lights in there, this is fine. But we need to raise this up a little bit in order to be able to plant stuff in there. So I'm going to throw down a small metal wall. Okay, and all we're doing is we're going to we're moving our metal floor, well in our case metal, we're moving our flooring up the height of the small metal wall. So if you take a look at that, we are just moving it up that much. So we can get rid of the flooring that was underneath and the small metal wall, and then throw our wall there, add back in our straight corridor, get rid of the wall and our biodome. And now we've just raised it enough to where, and I was going to see if I could get that angle, but it looks like I can't. See, now we can plant things in here. And we can also plant inverted. We have two functioning biodomes that are stacked on top of each other. So that's really about it. It's really about it with glitch building. You have to play around with pyramids and concrete items like cement cubes, things like that, to try and get some different angles to get pavers down. So the theory is if you can get some sort of round structure using pyramids and pipes, then you can glitch paving to said pyramids and possibly pipes. Well, you can't really glitch paving the pipes, but you know what? I think we have time for this video to give you a quick example of what I'm talking about here. There is a guy over at Amino. His name is Olagolas. He's an absolutely ridiculous builder. And he had this awesome monument. It was these big cement round structures. And they looked round from far away. They weren't 100% round when you got up close. However, he used sets of 5 pyramids here and interlinked them. So what he did is he took a pipe and then he repeated the set of 5 pyramids. Okay. Well, of course, I'm struggling to get. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to flip that over. So you basically did this, and when you're doing this, you're slightly changing the angle. So if you were to repeat this process, you would get a huge loop, so to speak. So we could do a complete loop. In our case, what I did is I figured, well, I was kind of playing around with spacing and everything. What I found is if you take a pyramid, and instead of separating it by a pipe, if you could separate it by, come on. Yes, I'm an awesome builder that struggles to place things. If we just attach the set of 5 pyramids, like so, and continue this pattern, and come on, you get to see my everyday struggle. Let's continue this. Set of 5 pyramids, and we're just going to keep attaching. And of course, because I'm recording, it doesn't want to behave. And we'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as you can see, we are slowly kind of, it almost resembles a circle, right? So similar to us snapping paving and glitching paving from a cylinder, we have the bottom of these pyramids that are slowly changing their angle as we are going upward. So if we take out our cylinder, that means we can glitch to the paving. We've got some paving there. However, notice that we have paving that's kind of separated and one that's right up against the bottom of the pyramid. The reason that happened is because we had our cylinder, but the orientation was off. So it's tricky. What you have to do is try and get that cylinder to flip, just like I did. And for some reason, that was not the right orientation. There we go. It's a little low. I'll see if I can get this to work. We'll see. Probably not because it's buried into the ground. Actually, that might have worked. I'm not 100% sure. However, we now have some paving that is slowly increasing in angle. If you were to follow this pattern all the way around, it doesn't connect perfectly. I'm still working on a way to get that to connect. However, you could turn this into an exocraft loop because since we have paving, I can get out my flooring and get that attached, get that attached. And as you can see, we have some flooring that is slowly starting to increase in angle. And if we repeat this process or this set of 5 pyramids all the way around, you would have one big loop that you could attach more flooring to, expand it out, and make a big exocraft loop. However, do not expect using this pattern for it to perfectly snap to this center point. It comes a little shy, so I still have to figure out a way to get that to work, or perhaps maybe get the loop into place and then use some wall panels to make the loop smaller and maybe it'll connect. I'm not 100% sure. So that's just an idea that you can use, that Olagolas came up with, that I've kind of just expanded on. You can do this same concept sideways, getting the pyramids on its side and then doing the sets of 5 and making a loop that will turn the floor paneling upright. So you could technically have just a flat big cylinder, or you can angle it if you want. If you can get the pyramid at an angle to start with, then you can do this process and have an angled loop. And since you have flooring down, you could always add walls and maybe just turn it into a big loop of straight corridors, or I mean, the possibilities really from there are pretty endless. So hope that was helpful. That's all I really have for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. You can find me on Reddit, NMS Kibbles. You can find me on the Galactic Hub Discord. I am on Facebook, but not normally on Facebook. You could send me a message there, NMS Kibbles on Facebook, and I'll try to get back to you, and love to see your guys' ideas and what you can come up with. So until then, good luck.